Welcome to English Discussions. Is English a skill-based or a knowledge-based subject? Or is this question reflective of a larger problem? Growing up, I found the image of a coin aptly reflect what I understood to be the study of English. Both aspects, language and literature, were needed and were a complement to each other. But after moving to Dubai and encountering common notions about the role and function of English, I realized that internationally, English was viewed more as a skill than as a knowledge subject. I was intrigued about this statement and wanted to find out if we can really take just one position on this. So I asked a few of my friends and also did a bit of online research to see what was out there. It appears there are mixed viewpoints on this. 1. In schools, the main focus is on English as a language skill. 2. In comparison, in academia or in higher education, English is approached more as knowledge or the study of literary texts. And 3. In the world at large, especially among adult ESL speakers, English is valued for its functional and communicative aspects. This led me to further question what the implications would be for literature if such a narrative continues to be promoted. Would we have to ask the same question about literature as Langston Hughes asked about deferred dreams in his famous poem Harlem? What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Or does it explode? After reflecting on this further, this is what I felt I had to agree to. English as a skill makes sense, since as with any new language, our main purpose is to communicate fluently, whether in speaking or in writing. But at the same time, we have to acknowledge the colonial origins of English, as well as the impact, influence, and association of English with Western culture in our personal, cultural, and social lives even to this day. This makes the study of English very different from that of other languages. Music, reality food shows, books that make the best-selling list, commercialization of Halloween, hit TV series and movies on streaming platforms, fads in fashion, etc., from popular culture are constantly being absorbed and internalized by us. It is the study of literature and its related fields of study, like cultural studies, world literatures, etc., which enable us to challenge these internalizations through discourse and critique. Having journeyed with English for so many years, first as a student and then as a teacher, I have come to believe that literature has the power to not only reflect, but to also create, ideate, and change perceptions, and thereby impact our social realities. For instance, in many British schools in the UK, books on the experiences of refugee children are included in school curriculums and required readings, with the aim of creating empathy, tolerance, and understanding towards them as they adjust to life in the UK. It is also for this reason that it is not unusual to hear discontent when certain texts or courses are included or dropped from school and college curriculums based on prevailing ideologies, as we have seen in the Indian context. Hence, in the hands of authors, literature is a powerful tool for social change or social disruption. But most important of all, we deny English not only of its historicity, but its innate power itself. Thus, we devalue the study of literature for the future generation if we make the study of all literary texts just an exercise for improving reading, listening, and writing skills. The devaluing of literary studies is also largely contributed by the kind of society we have created, materialistic and commercialized. Then, by those very standards, focusing on English as a skill has more of a market value than promoting English as a subject. So, it is not unusual for those pursuing literary studies to constantly confront two common questions every now and then. 1. Can it bring any kind of monetary success? And 2. What kind of tangible value can it give back to society besides teaching? But as much as the economic value of something is important in life, it is equally important to pay attention to those things that may not seem to be of immediate worth. In this instance, it would be the importance of creating appropriate knowledge systems and relevant processes that help prevent or dissuade the creation of any kind of social discourses that are divisive in nature. If we are truly serious about creating a responsible, accountable, equal, tolerant, and just society in the here and now and in the future, we must provide the spaces for multiple voices to speak and to be heard. The study of literary texts, and by extension all kinds of narrative texts, is that space that allows for such exchanges to take place. Hence, I believe that to succeed as a society, there is an urgent need to bring in a shift in our thinking. Can such a shift in perspective and priorities actually happen for us as a society? I believe it can, given that we had never imagined something like COVID-19 to take over the world for nearly 2.5 years. That was one unfortunate example of how we were forced to make a shift from everything we had until then considered normal and the usual, to new forms of being and knowing. But where do we begin to create a domino effect of such a shift? Well, to start anything new and for the chances for its success almost always lies at the beginning, or when we do it at the earliest. It is in schools that we need to help young minds discover how language is politics and how the workings of it inform our world. How our experiences are not normative but constructed. It is thus important that equal value be attributed to both the literary and the language aspects of English so that a holistic understanding of the subject is gained. And this can't happen if we continue to promote that English is just a skill-based subject. Yes, English is a skill to be mastered, but it is also knowledge to be grasped and understood. As to the question of whether we should be asking the same questions about literature as Hughes did for his deferred dreams, I don't think we have to. Literature can never really just fade away so long as our humanity exists. The reason being, storytelling is an innate part of who we are as a civilization. The study of literature not only connects us to that age-old tradition of storytelling, but with every telling and retelling, we keep alive within us the fragility of our humanity. Therefore, it is far too complex for me to simply choose a side on the argument whether English is a skill or a knowledge-based subject. Thanks for watching.